We are 4 days into June, and we couldn't be more happy that you have been able to join us for another insightful Jamaica Magazine. In today's show, we talk development. First up, we will shed light on more work to be done on Highway 2000, and later, a much-needed technological improvement at Ferncourt High School. These and more useful information are being unveiled right now.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs and manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs round here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, June 4, 2021. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has welcomed the United States government's announced commitment to donate millions of doses of COVID-19 vaccines to Latin America and the Caribbean. The Joseph Biden administration announced the donation plan yesterday.
Certainly, it will not be enough, even in the first instance, to satisfy our total demand to bring us to herd immunity. But we welcome it and appreciate it as a continuing example for rich countries who have surpluses to make them available right across the world, right across the globe. Not necessarily entirely by grant, but certainly available for purchase. Jamaica.
On the local front, the Prime Minister says Jamaica has put aside the fiscal resources to purchase the vaccines that are needed.
We welcome grants, but we also want equitable access. And so I want to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to the United States for this measure. We are hopeful that Jamaica will get a significant share of the allotment for the region.
The city of Kingston has received its latest investment to bring it closer to cementing its status as the lifestyle, cultural, and music hub of the Caribbean. On Tuesday, ground was broken for a $7 billion 14-story residential complex dubbed the Residences at Terra Nova off Waterloo Road. 91 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom luxury units are expected to be completed in 2 years' time. The complex will be eco-friendly, complete with amenities such as a state-of-the-art indoor gym and outdoor exercise spaces, meditation garden, rooftop jogging trail, infinity pool, and lounge. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has welcomed the development, in particular the 400 jobs to be created during the construction phase and more long-term employment expected upon completion.
The objective of this new expansion is to fulfill the growing demand for additional accommodation to complement and boost Kingston's tourism offerings. Kingston is fast gaining traction as a cultural tourism destination. Investment in infrastructure is also enhancing the capital city as a place of choice to live, work, do business, raise your families, and retire in paradise in this region.
The Denham Town Primary and Infant School has officially been renamed in honor of the former Prime Minister, the late Most Honorable Edward Siaga. The school was renamed during an official ceremony at the institution yesterday.
It gives me great pleasure to officially rename the Denham Town Primary and Infant, the Edward Siaga Primary and Infant School, in honor of one of the founding fathers of our nation, a visionary and courageous leader and statesman who made it his life's work to improve the conditions of the masses.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he has no doubt that the school will continue to be a beacon of hope in the community. Education Minister Favour Williams says the change is appropriate as the name Edward Philip George Siaga is synonymous with excellence as a nation builder, visionary, and patriot.
Mr. Siaga believed in education and wanted to see the lives of people improved through education and training. This was evidenced in 1982 when, as Prime Minister, he established the Human Employment and Resource Training Program that we know as HEART to provide job-related training for school leavers and dropouts on a wide scale throughout Jamaica.
Meanwhile, the National Education Trust, NET, has received commendations for its effective management of the One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the initiative is working well. She made the statement at a recent ceremony where the Rotary Club of New Kingston handed over 10 tablets to the initiative.
We're going to continue this drive, and your donation gets us further along that road, and we're not going to stop, we're not going to relent until we accomplish that goal of having all our students so equipped with the technology.
Meanwhile, another 12 devices are being donated to the One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative, courtesy of Brescia Limited. The tablets, along with protective cases, were recently handed over to the Education Ministry. 3 of them will be deployed to the Bureau of Gender Affairs for use within the National Shelter for Victims of Domestic Abuse. 6 will be issued to the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, while the remaining 3 tablets will be presented to a school in St. Thomas, the home parish of Brescia Limited CEO and co-founder Randy McLaren. In addition to the devices, 200 reusable face masks produced by the company are also being donated for distribution to students who will be sitting CSEC this year. And finally, government has established a Soil Health Committee at the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries to support Jamaica's food security. The committee is comprised of technical officers from the Agricultural Land Management Division, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA, and other stakeholders. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green made the announcement in Parliament recently.
This committee, Madam Speaker, will pay keen attention to improving health, yield, and profitability of soils, promoting further education and adoption of healthy soil practices. The committee will also develop a soil health tool that farmers and technical teams can use to provide a quick and basic evaluation of the health of the soil that is being utilized.
The Public Infrastructure Management Committee has approved the Soil Fertility Mapping Project for Sustainable Agriculture in Jamaica. It's a joint project between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Moroccan National Institute for Agricultural Research. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
A common practice while socializing, celebrating, or just relaxing is the consumption of alcohol. To some, this is second nature.
All too common also are the negative effects that drinking has on the human body. While occasional drinking is not necessarily a problem, it's the excessive intake that can have severe consequences.
The effects of too much alcohol consumption include blurred vision, breathing problems, impaired judgment, concentration problems, slurred speech, and of course, addiction resulting from long-term use. Now, these effects may vary based on a variety of factors such as how much you drink, how often you drink, your age, health status, and family history.
Alcohol use does not have to be reckless. Here are some tips to practice responsible drinking.
Plan ahead. If you plan on drinking at an event, get a designated driver.
Shoulder. Yeah. Set your own limit. No much is too much.
Know your family history. If you come from a family with a history of alcohol dependence, you might want to limit your drinking.
Remember, responsible drinking is a very simple thing.
The Highway 2000 construction project was initialized by government in 1999 to upgrade Jamaica's infrastructure, provide economic opportunities for growth, and create jobs. In our first feature for today, we take a look at the work being done on the construction of the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of the highway.
transforming the landscape one leg at a time, winding, wrapping, reaching, and hugging the contours of some of our highest points. This is Highway 2000.
Highway 2000 is a major infrastructure program for Jamaica that NROC oversees. We started out as far back as 1999, where we had phase 1. Initially, that ended at Sandy Bay. Then we added one another phase called phase 1B, which ended at Maypen Roundabout. We were engaged also in phase 2, which started from Caymanas in St. Catherine and ended at Miami Bay in Ocherius. That is what we call phase 2A. Additional phases now includes phase 1C, which starts at Maypen Roundabout and ends at Williamsfield. There are other phases in the pipeline for the future, which will see what we call phase 2B, starting at Williamsfield and ending somewhere around in Montego Bay. And that is our long-term plan, as well as the linkages with the upcoming Montego Bay Perimeter Road, and then that would be our major Highway 2000 project. This part is $188 million for the construction of the highway. The project is being done with China Harbour and the government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. And NROC is the implementing agency. So we engage the contractor on a daily basis as to the project's overall implementation. So we have all the necessary oversights for quality, safety, and construction management representing the government. And as such, our role is very specific to ensure that the construction is done on time, with quality, and within the budget. And our expectation is that our contractor will cooperate based on the contract arrangement to complete the project in the time specified, which is October 2022.
The project is a 3-year project. It started in 2019 and it will end in 2022, October. Currently, we're about 22% complete. We measure our completion by the amount of money expended, not by the amount of time that's elapsed. However, we've only paid the contractor about 20-something% worth of the monies. Now, most of the work he's done so far is moving fill. So we haven't gotten to the high value items, for instance. Now we're doing the bridges and so forth. There's a lot of concrete work. And so therefore, the value of the works are going to go up significantly.
The Rio Mina is one of the largest rivers in Jamaica, and it is very flood prone. So in fact, the bridge that we're building is actually the longest 4-lane bridge in Jamaica. It will be about 150 meters long. And so this is just a start of construction. So what you can see over my shoulder is the work being done to install piles. So the bridge is actually on 5 piers, which are made out of pile structure, which is a circular concrete structure which goes down about 30 meters into the ground. And the piles will bring the bridge to the height of the old bridge. And in fact, the new bridge is actually much wider than the old bridge. So we expect that the new bridge will actually facilitate water flowing through. So the conditions that we had in about, when it was 1981, 86, when the approaches to the bridge was washed away, the approaches to the old bridge was washed away. We shouldn't have that conditions here because this new bridge will be wider than the old bridge.
We expect over the next few months to see an acceleration in the type of fill that happens as the contractor makes his way through the hills. We've pretty much established the embankment coming all the way from the start of project right here all the way up to the foothills of Manchester at St. Tullys. As you drive through the project, you'll notice that we've put a significant amount of fill on the ground or embankment where we're starting to actually get the levels for the actual road to be built. So currently that's what we're working on. We're working on drainage structures. You'll see culverts, what we call well, underpasses in the first instance. You'll see culverts, corrugated steel pipes, HDPE, so plastic pipes going in to convey water from the north to the south of the highway.
Safety is paramount for any construction projects. And for safety, the contractor has first strike, where all workers, all operatives on the site adhere to safety requirements. You'll see signs about safety rules and guidelines. For this project, you'll see guidelines both in Chinese and in English. Workers need to have what we call the PPEs, personal protective equipment. You have your helmet, you have your high visibility vest, and you have your hard boot, so that once you're on the site, you can avoid accidents, because things do happen. On the environmental side, the project, before you commence, have to get an environmental permit. And that has a number of stipulations. We have several conditions which speaks to management of the environmental issues.
We do noise and air quality monitoring along the highway construction. As you had seen earlier, we showed you two pieces of equipment we use. The noise meter, which essentially measures the noise over a 24-hour period, catching the levels every second. And based on that, then we look at the averages and compare it with the NEPA standard. That standard is recognized day and night, and we look to see if we are exceeding it. And if that's the case, then what needs to be done to bring it back down so that the persons around will be comfortable. In terms of the dust, the particulate sampler, which we had also shown, dust comes in at the top on a little mushroom looking thing that was on top of it, gets in on pre-weighed filters, and then that filter is taken back to the lab and weighed. The 24-hour reading is what we use to compare with the standard. The standard is 150 micrograms per cubic meter for 24 hour, which is the level. And we compare that with what's happening along the highway construction to see if there's any activity and if there's any elevation with the dust. If that's the case, then we'll recommend in terms of increased wetting and other mitigative actions.
But as you move beyond the Milk River, we are in very hilly terrain with limestone. So in order to excavate the rock, blasting is invariably required. For blasting to take place, the contractor has the responsibility of obtaining a license from the Department of Mines and Geology in order to undertake blasting activity. In Jamaica, a blast on this highway has a limit of what we call 25 ground acceleration motion, 25 millimeters per second, which is the limit. Which, if you exceed that, then the blast is not safe, and you can have damages to structures.
Quality control is a very important aspect for us on the highway. We have a very, very rigid quality assurance process. The contractor is expected to be certified both to AASHTO as well as to ISO for his works. What we do on the NROC side, with the assistance of our consultants, is to do the quality assurance. So the random checks to ensure that what the contractor is saying he has put in his quality plan is actually what he's doing.
So as part of CHEC's quality management system, it is imperative that we test the compaction for each layer of fill that is applied. We are testing at approximately 3,000 square meters, right? And we do our testing randomly. So what he did was, our technician, he bored the hole and then put the nuclear gauge inside it and the machine will demonstrate the percentage compaction. What we are looking for are readings above 95%, and I think he got far more than 95% there.
The communities are very integral in the project implementation, because the highway goes through all these communities and we're impacting them. One of the things that has happened in the porous reefswood areas is that some areas have no potable water, and as such we partner with the community, the local representatives, the contractor China Harbour, to provide what we call black tanks. Right, so that, and they're communal tanks. So these are placed along the roadside in the community, and water is provided from the contractor side every other week or twice a month, so that persons who don't have access to running potable water can come and access water from these tanks.
The primary thing that we'll see persons benefiting from is a travel time of approximately 40 minutes from Kingston to Mandeville. So I think that perhaps is maybe the most important thing that persons will see. We expect at the same time for the development to open up new developments, new areas, housing, business, etc.
The National Road Operating and Constructing Company, NROC, along with key stakeholders, are working tirelessly to unlock opportunities and create possibilities for government, businesses, families, people. You, me, us. A symbol of economic growth, extending logistical opportunities, and taking spirited strides to improve on travel. A journey made possible by the National Road Operating and Constructing Company. Its length and breadth, its reach, its span. This is Highway 2000.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Like Highway 2000, the Ferncourt High School in St. Anne is being upgraded to meet the growing needs of its population. The school recently received a much-needed donation of tablets and a new resource center to improve quality and access to education. Watch this.
1, 2, 3.
Ferncourt High School in Claremont St. Anne is the owner of a brand new state-of-the-art resource center. It's outfitted with 48 desktop computers, chairs and desks, air conditioning units, and internet connectivity to provide a much-needed technological boost to the school. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to roam our island, students are relying now more than ever on technological gadgets to engage in online learning. These 48 desktop computers that were donated by the school's Alumni Association in New York, along with 77 tablets, will allow more Ferncourt students to access teaching and learning.
Technology will remain a permanent part of the teaching and learning experience, and so these tablets and laptops being handed out today in the ceremonial handover, I'd encourage you as students to keep and care them because they will be with you for a long time. It's to help you to learn better, to learn more, to learn faster.
According to principal of the institution, Sheldon Thomas, the devices will also improve students' research and digital literacy skills.
ICT is an emerging, exciting field that all companies are embracing. The increased focus on ICT in our school will add value to students' learning, as we know that learning in a technology-enhanced environment is more stimulating and engaging than in our traditional classroom environment.
The devices will also greatly benefit the students and teachers who have returned to school temporarily to prepare for final examinations. The break from remote learning has been welcomed by a few final-year students at the institution, as they now have access to face-to-face learning and additional technological resources.
Being back at school really means a lot because you have more time to actually get an understanding of what you're doing and to help you get ready for CXC.
It's harder to focus online because there are so many distracting things at home. So yeah, I think that is the main challenge I have. So it feels good to be back.
I teach TVET and I cannot assist them online all the time. I can only do theory lessons. The videos will help, but so much and no more. So I am happy to be back so that I can assist them, especially those who have exams, because they need me. They need me.
Despite the various challenges posed by the pandemic, it's evident that the necessary steps are being taken to ensure these students are prepared to sit their exams safely.
We know that the time was difficult and we know that this was not really premeditated, but we really do have to make the best of it despite the circumstances because we will eventually overthrow Corona.
We are seeing the joy that our students are having to be back in the face-to-face mode. They're anticipating exams. We know that these are stressful times because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we're doing our best to ensure that our students are in a safe environment and they can take their exams safely.
I really hope that those who are listening to my voice will take an introspection of themselves and check out how they have been operating the motorcycle. Are you operating with a helmet, an elbow pad, a knee pad, a jacket, a shoulder pad? Are you wearing shoes instead of slippers? Have you removed the mirrors from the motorcycles? Obedience better than sacrifice. Do the right thing. Are you going to ensure that you buckle up in the motor vehicle and the persons in the motor vehicle behind your back, your passengers, are they buckle up? Are you going to ensure that? Are you going to give yourself adequate time to reach your destination so that you don't have to be in any ears, so that you don't help to clog up the health sector? Nobody should be going to the hospitals because of traffic crashes. Nobody. They are preventable, they are avoidable. We can make better choice than that.
This is the end of today's show, but don't worry, you can turn the pages again with us tomorrow. While you wait, visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for our daily video uploads and news stories. You may also follow us on all our social media sites for the latest information on government programs and initiatives. I'm Sandra Johnson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.